Of course, I had to make a video. It's Valentine's Day, and as you may or may not know, I'm currently in a state of a what I would call a Schrodinger's heartbreak, but I'm trying to make it so that this would be the best for me. I will make it the best for me, or however you may want to call it. So, what else? It's February 14th, and tomorrow is the 15th, and guess what happens in the 15th? It would have been, or should have been, I don't know how the grammar works there, it would have been our first year anniversary. And of course, I will be the only one celebrating it. The same way I've been doing it for the past 7 months. And I celebrated Valentine's Day by myself as well. By, of course, going on a 10K run because I like to make myself suffer and we're on that grind set and all that stuff. Aside from that, in a week or so, I would be 7 months in to this entire breakup journey. So might as well put it all into one video. That being my, of course, about me in general and my current state when it comes to this journey, and my 2 cents per se on this whole entire romance thing, because well, it's Valentine's. So where do I even start? Why tulips exactly? Very clickbaity thumbnail and title, and it's not as descriptive as my other videos, and I'm experimenting, I guess. But tulips because on this day exactly a year ago, well, actually no, it's supposed to be tomorrow, but I'm just putting it or bundling it into one entire event. I risked my life for a bunch of tulips. And I want to make it clear as early as possible that I'm saying that in a unregrettable way. It's not like I regret it. In fact, I would risk my life for those tulips a second time. Of course, we know where this is heading. Those tulips were for none other than my ex-girlfriend. Why tulips? It's something that only me and her would understand, and I wouldn't want to go into full detail as to why, and I think that speaks enough as to why exactly tulips. It's just a like me and her thing. I've been preparing for these tulips for 2 weeks prior to Valentine's. Well, of course, it's my first girlfriend. It's my first Valentine with someone. Of course, I'm going to try and my best to really put an effort into this. I had to order these tulips because I was aware that you don't get tulips on the side of the road. You just don't expect a side vendor or a small shop to be selling these tulips. This was a buy order flower. But it was the 14th, and for some unfortunate reason and a mix of bad luck, the tulips were delayed. And the delivery was unfortunately moved to the day after. That's what I meant by it's like bundled, like the event is bundled. Even then, it was the 14th. But at the time, my ex-girlfriend was a director of some school play. And let's just say we were too busy to even feel the Valentine's atmosphere or the Valentine's vibe. So we were busy running around school, dealing with props, doing practices and all that. And yeah, it was so hectic. It was so busy that we didn't really have the time to spend time with each other. And in fact, I even recall having this anime moment where when everything was finally done and everyone was preparing to go home, we actually planned to at least allot 20 to 30 minutes of just us time, like quality time. But I had to help some people carry some props. I think it was a backdrop. I had to bring it outside the campus and bring it to some person's dorm. That was dismissal time. So we were really trying to pick up the pace because we want to spend time with each other and time's ticking, and she had to go home. Yeah, like she was getting picked up by her parents or something. So I helped the dudes with the props. So I dropped it off and then ran back as fast as I could. And it was just like an anime moment because it's like the parents' car or something. I didn't know it at the time, but it's like it was me and then she was here and then yeah, something like that. It was just a few seconds off. I believe it was like a minute off. And then I arrived at the room where we were supposed to meet, and the guy there was like, oh, she already left. I might be over-exaggerating things and romanticizing what actually happened, but in my mind, that's how things played out. And it's an event. and I will cherish it till the day I die. So, February 14, my first Valentine's really didn't go as planned, and so at least we have tomorrow. Okay, we have the 15th. I said a while ago that the 15th was supposed to be our first anniversary, so I'm guessing you already have a rough idea of where I'm going with this. The tulips, I went to get the tulips as early as I can. I needed to secure the tulips because I somehow in my mind wanted to redeem myself for what happened the day prior, which is not my responsibility in the first place, but that was stuck in my mind. Like, you have to give these tulips to her, and you would be prioritizing these tulips over your own life. It also happens to be that at that particular day, we had to do some experimentation for our research or capstone project that we were doing. So I have these tulips, right? I have them now secured in a plastic bag. I had to commute to my classmate's house because that's where we were supposed to carry out the experimentation. But the thing is, the experiment had something to do with charcoal and grilling. And flowers don't really like that, smoke and all. But even on the way there, I had to commute at a certain point, and it's as if I was bodyguarding the tulips. During my commute, I was making sure that it was safe. Like, this was my child or something. But I was also making sure not to squeeze it too tightly so that it would get ruined, because it was decided. Like, it was actually thoroughly prepared. It was well made. This voice in my mind that, okay, tulips over everything, tulips over everything, tulips over everything. And I think that would summarize my entire point in this video. I should have put it in the first part, but like, when you're in love, and this was actually the point in our relationship or our stay together, that when I finally realized that, holy shit, I actually love somebody now. And of course, I'm not saying that before that I didn't love her truly. It's just that it finally sank in. I finally accepted that I was capable of emotions, and more than that, a very strong feeling such as love. Wouldn't really expect that from me, somebody who is logically oriented, who puts efficiency over everything, who is obsessed with optimizing everything. This was clearly illogical. And in fact, even now, I don't feel a hint of, what's the word, hesitation, regret. It's as if I was all into this thing. I need to give her these tulips. I need to protect these tulips, or whatever the tulips represent. My love for her, the joy that I would find when I finally give it to her, or whatever. Everything is blurs. Okay, let me go back to the story. Survived the commute on the way there, and yes, as I have mentioned and as I have expected, there was a lot of smoke, but I tried my best to keep the tulips away safely in the confines of my bag, and it was like 3 layers of protection. But it wouldn't fit in my bag entirely, so you can see like the upper half of it was sticking out. And then I just placed it there and then hope that it would still be there once I get back to it. And it fortunately it was still there. However, the sun was like deep frying it. It was early in the morning at that time. The sun wasn't fully out, and I didn't realize that the spot I placed my bag in was exposed to an open window, I believe. Yeah. So it was getting deep fried there, but it's as if I could hear the tulips crying in pain. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a delusion, but it's like I was one with the tulips. I sound crazy right now, do I? Yeah, we all become crazy in love and all that. That is true. Although, as cliche as it sounds, yes, I do agree. I finally understand. Came a point where I had to like blow on it. I don't even know what I was thinking or why I even thought that would help. But I just blew on it, and somehow that made things better, even though it probably didn't. And finally, let's go to school. Let's give these tulips to her, even though we're a day late and they're probably like dying or something. But it's the effort that counts. First class of the day. I entered the room. Everyone looked at me. Everyone knew where this was going. Grabbed the tulips and oh man, I will never or ever forget that very moment. The picture is like etched into my mind. Oh my goodness. I think that's one of the most fulfilling moments in my life. Being able to hand it to her like that. The lens in which I had to go. I know it sounds like I'm over exaggerating or I'm romanticizing the actual events, but this is how it played in my mind. This is how I remember it, and I think that's what matters most. And later that day, there was like this cringe. I wouldn't say cringe. It's an anime moment, but I even wrote her a poem. I even printed like a small card to go along with the tulip. So as she was holding the, it's not a bouquet, but it's a bundle of flowers wrapped in designed colored paper. I read her the poem. It was, we were sitting in a garden, like the school garden, and people were actually walking past by us, and yeah, of course they were looking. I suck at execution. I should have picked a better spot, but we had so little time. So, and at that moment, that's when we finally decided that, yeah, like we should be a thing. Like we're a thing now, right? It was that casual. If you think about it, it was a pretty big event. Like this is part of my history. It's an apex event. It's like a canon event. It's like a turning point. This is actually happening. I got a girlfriend. I'm not gonna reiterate as to why that is such a surprising thing. Just refer to my December 3rd videos, but story time done. I mean, it's Valentine's Day. I'm alone in my dorm room. I just came home from a run, and what better way is it to celebrate my Valentine's here, you know, aside from like, I don't know, cry my eyes out on my pillow there and then cry myself to sleep or something. Might as well turn it into something else. I'm channeling the, I wouldn't say the negative energy, but I'm trying to reminisce on the good parts of what ended. And I really like doing that. That's what I've been working on in the past few weeks. And on that note, how I've been doing, again, I'm in a Schrodinger's heartbreak, but I guess it's for the best for me because I'm finally starting to move forward. Not letting go, I'm just moving forward. But those times or those days or those weeks where I look back onto what happened and most especially how it ended, they don't really pack as much of a punch as it did, let's say, in the first few months. When I look back, I try my best to look back at the best parts of it. And this tulip story is one of them. It's getting very lengthy now, so I'm going to end it here. And I would end it with this very brief piece of advice that took me so long to realize, is that the most logical thing to do in love is to throw it out the window. Yep. I tried to logic my way through so many things during my time with her, and yeah, it wasn't even overthinking. I was treating it as if it were a strategy game like chess. In certain aspects, yes, you could argue that it kind of is, but it's not meant to be treated that way. It's not a mathematical formula you're supposed to memorize. It's not a physics problem that you're supposed to unravel. It's not a programming problem that you're supposed to code up a solution for. It's not any of those. You're in love. Okay? In love. You are in the confines of what it means to love. I used to have this analogy that, yes, maybe there is an aspect of logic towards it, but this will sound very nerdy, but to me it sounds clever. The same way wherein physics don't function or work the same way on a quantum level. Everything is distorted, everything is turned on its own head. Yes, it's still there. Yes, it still plays a part. However, the results you get, the way you manipulate it, the way you use logic in love is very unpredictable as compared to using logic in other things in life, such as problem solving or creating new ideas. It doesn't really work in the same manner. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching. Happy Valentine's Day, future me's, and to all the viewers that stayed this long into the video. That's all for me today, and yeah, I hope this video holds some sort of substance. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And to you, yeah, I don't even know if you watch my videos. Probably do, probably don't. It's uncertainty, embrace it.